Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we are looking at the Zentradi Tactical Battle Pod. So, um, I've been having problems trying to say the Macross name, so I will stay with just the Robotech and the Star Wars naming of everything. But for Robotech, the Tactical Battle Pod is the most common of these Zentradi war machines. It is a highly dependable, non transformable mecha assault system that is issued to every infantry soldier. If I can only speak this evening. Although not equipped with hand-to-hand or for hand-to-hand combat, the battle pod is designed for exceptional balance, speed, and a variety of short and long-range weapon capabilities. The construction and operation of the tactical battle pod is extremely simple. The pilot sits cradled inside the bulbous body of the pod with an immediate access to all controls. The legs are controlled by foot pedals, which respond to the pilot's manipulation. Weapon systems are operated by hand, rear thrusters mounted on the sides, and mini thrusters in the legs provide for mobility in space, while the massive ostrich like legs give the pilot exceptional stability, balance, and speed on land. The legs are so powerful that the battle pod can actually leap, bound, and kick without losing balance. Even after a fall, the pod can quickly regain its feet and rejoin the battle. The impressive mobility is largely the result of the symbiotic relationship between man and machine via protoculture. Protoculture is the mysterious energy source of the Robotech Masters, which instills an almost alive quality to the machine. As a result, the machine responds to physical manipulation as if it were an extension of the pilot. Of course, these Zentradi have no real understanding of how the mecha works and the use of protoculture or even how to repair damaged mecha. From a practical viewpoint, the principles of identical or are identical to the Earth Defense Force's own mecha. In contrast, the human mecha with roomy and reinforced pilot compartments, the Zentradi literally fills the pod's body cavity. It's is cramper and has no additional protection beyond the light armor of the pod itself. This makes the pilot extremely vulnerable to attacks. Zentradi soldiers are often forced to discard extremely damaged mecha, but the pods are very inexpensive and mass produced on a mind-boggling scale at fully automated weapons plants scattered throughout the universe, and others, and under the control of the Robotech Masters. It is important to note that there are four different types of styles of the battle pod. They are almost identical in body operation and movement. Only weapon systems change. This does not include the officer's pod. Like the human destroids and Veritex, the pod's energy source has a lifespan of about 8 years when used constantly, 12 years with a normal average. Now, for Star Wars, as the Zentradi fleet appeared within the Imperial space of the from the unknown regions, many wondered what this could mean. The fact that their standard ships outsized those of the Imperial was fearful enough, though loyal officers rested their faith in the firepower of the Imperial two Star Destroyers at their command, though many of the other ships outsized those as well. A simple communique was all the response given from these newcomers who looked human enough, albeit brutish and warlike. They demanded a return of the lost ship and threatened grave consequences if it was not made so. The Imperials were still trying to guess what this meant when the Zentradi opened fire with a salvo of intense energy weapons. some on par with the standard Imperial turbo lasers, others far surpassing it. Blockade fleet uh, the blockade fleet of the Macross system was torn asunder, decimated within the first salvo, shields never having stood a chance against these massive weapons. Uh, what few ships survived scattered and ran before the second salvo could begin, uh, le- leaving space vacant for the Zentradi fleet to occupy for their own. The fleet regrouped and made way towards the primary colony world of the system under sublight power, following the scent of the space fold trail of Zor's ship like a bloodhound on the chase. When the Zentradi assumed tactical orbit above the South Atrial Island, they launched a full invasion force to reclaim Zor's ship, while fighter pods were launched for escort duty. Drop ships were launched to hit the ocean waters and discard their cargo for the main assault on the island. That force was composed of tactical battle pods. These make up the bulk of the Zentradi military force, such as TIE IN fighters make up the bulk of the Imperial Starfighter Corps. Um, and coincidentally, these two seem to fill a similar role for both groups. While the battle pod lacks a comparative speed and maneuverability of the TIE fighters, it makes up for it with somewhat greater durability and more weapons. So, uh, this is really the start that we actually get to see in the Robotech slash Macross saga, the first space war. I'm going to kind of stop it there. It's interesting that the author here had literally just recreated it on the Macross planet and went from there. So, looking at the machine itself, now this is a multi-purpose battle mecha. It is at starfighter scale, technically speeder scale for the Zentradi since they are giants. Has a height of 50 feet, width of 26 feet, and a length of 27 feet. Comes in at roughly about 37 tons. Now, keep in mind, and I wrote some of these numbers down. Okay, so your standard Zentradi is 33 feet tall, about 10 meters. So this means that this is another 5 meters taller. And yes, they literally cram themselves inside the pod. It's funny how they kind of work that out in the cartoon, but it is literally just cramming themselves inside there. Does it make all the sense? Should it probably be a little bit bigger? Yeah, I would say so, but um, it just is kind of one of those things. All right, so this has a crew of one for Zentradi, or four for humans or other medium sized characters. Let's see here. We have crew skills, which I'm not going to go over. Consumables, none. We have a cost of 80,000 brand new or 50,000 used. Now, this is going to come in later as we were kind of talking about it in our last one with the command pod. So if you're kind of seeing this one, but you didn't see the other one, if if we're retro engineering this and making this for more human scale, I would go with those numbers, which then is going to shrink the height down a little bit. I would put the height more on scale with our ATST. Just kind of throwing that out there. If we're going to try and recreate this at a humanoid scale, not a Zentradi scale, then I would go with those. If it's going to be at Zentradi scale, I would say it's probably not going to be available for sale. Okay. We do not have a hyperdrive on this, but it does have a nav computer, as this does fly out in space in the cartoon and is so listed in the books as well. Has maneuverability of 2D, has a space speed of 4, and an atmospheric speed of 800 kilometers an hour. It has a ground walking speed or running speed of 281.5 kilometers an hour. Uh, has a hull strength of 3D. Now it has a physical body strength of 2D and an armor of 1D. That's how we're getting our hull strength of 3D. Now, shields, there are no shields available on this. We do have sensors. Our passive sensors go out to 2 kilometers at a 0D bonus. An active scan goes out to 4 kilometers at a 1D bonus. An active search goes out to 6 kilometers at a 2D bonus. And a focus out to 300 meters with a 3D bonus. Now, standard equipment. We have the main reactor, the radar, which goes out to 30 miles, audio, video, communications, laser targeting, combat computer, loudspeaker, night vision, heat radiation shields, and independent oxygen and circulatory system. Now, weapon wise, we have two dual particle beam cannons. These are front turret, I believe. Um, I don't know what I've got going on over there with my rabbits, but they're making a bunch of noise. I have fire control of 2D. This is vehicle blasters. Damage is 5D, 6D if fire linked, and it has a rate of fire one per attack per roll, or one per attack roll. Individual blasts from each cannon. So if you're fire linking it, just one attack. If you're keeping them separate, you can attack twice. Now we have two laser guns. Top back section of the battle pod, partial turret, 180-degree rotation and arc. Um, so this is our top two pod or blasters, kind of antenna looking ones in the back. Um, let's see, fire control is 1D, damage is 4D, and there again we can either have them fire linked or fire separately. We also have two auto cannons in the front. These are the lower ones in the front. These are on the front turret. Fire control is 2D. Damage is 2D for a short burst, 4D for a long burst, or 8D for a full round burst. We have 960 rounds total, 480 rounds per gun. Fire rate is 6 rounds per shot for a short burst, 12 rounds per shot for a long burst, and 24 rounds for a full round burst fire. Now, hand to hand combat, we have a kick at a 6D, a body block at 6D, a stomp at 4D. Um, that's what we get on this. So we finally wrap up everything that we have here from our D6 Holocron. Now, I have been asked about another ship that I will try and come up with stats for. We'll see how I can slap that together and hopefully make something pretty presentable like I do with some of my other stuff. And we will work on that here during the week. And somebody else had made a comment that they wish that the battle armor, I forget the name of the bike. Um, so we will kind of cover that. Um, Again, it's something I have to try and make, which doesn't take too long, but it does take some time. And it's not like I just sit here with nothing to do all day. I'm doing this in between trying to spend time with the family and, of course, working a regular job. So we'll get it done. We'll get these going up here. Um, well, you know, we'll it's just the fun of trying to do these for you. It's fun because we get to do this, and it's fun trying to make this for a group, which is what you guys are an extension of my gaming group. You don't unfortunately get to be an active part of sitting here at the pool table, which is a complete mess yet, but it's fun coming up with the stats. So hopefully somebody else can see it and maybe add it to their own game. So With that being said, thank you so very much for stopping by. It's wonderful having you here. Hope you're doing well, and I will see you in the next video.